Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pro Tour Talk with Steve Dodge. I'm Steve Dodge. Today is July 4th. You didn't know that. You're not in America. So, hey, everybody, first things first. My daughter always asks me to ask people to do this. So please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so that when we go live, you get a notification. And 9 times out of 10 when we go live, it's the Pro Tour Talk. Live, 9 times out of 10, it's the live broadcast. And every once in a while, it's Pro Tour Talk. So most of the time, it'll be something that actually you're interested in. I need to do the Keen Super Chat. I'm going to try to open that up in another window while I talk. That's not going to work. While I talk about things that I know. So first of all, one thing I'd love to talk about, we're on the show today, we're going to be joined by Dixon Jowers. We're going to do our 2 versus the field. We're going to talk a little bit about the course. Holy, this is an amazing course. We're going to talk about whether this course is wooded or not, because we're up in the Michigan woods. And then we're going to talk with Garrett Girthy, who might not be a dark horse on this, what I thought was a wooded course. So, but first, let's do the, I know where it is. First, we're going to do the, Keen Super Chat. We were supposed to do it last week, and I forgot. And that's going to be in this tab. Nope. That's going to be in this tab. All right. So I need to go to the, not that schedule, ad schedule. Here we go. And let's figure out how many super chatters we had. And then let's give away a pair of Keen shoes. Who's ready for a pair of Keen shoes? Hey, somebody's ready. All right. Someone is ready for a pair of Keen shoes. And let's see. So at the Utah Open, we had 236 235 super chatters, and we already gave away 2 shoes. We give away shoes for every $65. So Dixon, can you do some quick math? How many times does 65 go into 235?
A little less than 4.
3.6. Is that close enough to give away an extra pair of shoes?
Sure. It's more than 3.5.
Dixon says yes. So we are going to give away 2 pair of shoes. Thank you guys very much. That's how this works. What was the number? 265?
Yep. No, 235.
235. All right. 235. So if you want your chance to win a pair of Keen shoes during the Utah Open, during the Discraft Great Lakes Open, which is this Friday to Sunday, obviously, what you want to do is you want to super chat during the event. And that just means donate $1, $5, $10. Every dollar you donate is a raffle entry into the super chat, Keen Super Chat, and a Keen raffle. And every $65 that is super chatted, we will give away 1 more pair of Keen shoes. So if $130 is super chatted, we give away 2. In this case, we're giving you guys a little bit of leeway here. The first winner is 166. Dixon, can you remember 166?
I've already remembered it.
And and number 8. I love it when it's tiny little numbers. So 166 is William Laney. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that yellow so we don't forget. Did William Laney win? No. And then number 8, Steve Sanders.
Hey, I know Steve Sanders.
You do?
Yeah.
Where's he from?
It's Pittsburgh Steve. So I don't know if he's from Pittsburgh.
I'm sure that means something to somebody. I know Pittsburgh.
He's a huge Pittsburgh fan.
I'm from Pittsburgh, and my name's Steve. I just won some shoes. So the other thing that I wanted to chat about real quick before we bring Dixon on, I think this past week was DGA week. At the Utah Open, Lewis Bitney was on the lead card after the first round. In the second, and then going into the third round, Sias Elmore was on second card. So both DGA players doing really, really well. So, and then additionally, Sias Elmore with a DGA disc that you throw a thumber, maybe a tsunami, aces hole 14 and gets number 3 in Sports Center. So congratulations, DGA. You guys were killing it last week. And then going into the Majestic, Shasta Chris wins the Masters division. So great job all around for DGA. And then to rock out their week, I think it was 2 days ago, the DGA made us some beautiful granite glow steadies. And that disc is, we only made 150 of them, very limited edition. I think it's the first granite glow run of the steady ever, and it's done for the Pro Tour. Tip of the hat to Scott Kesey on that. If you would like to get your hands on one, go to dgpt.com/shop and get yourself a granite glow steady in honor of DGA week, which is what has happened. And maybe it's DGA month. This might keep going because I saw Lewis Bitney out here practicing this course. I think Sias is here as well. These guys could keep rolling. So dgpt.com/shop. Feel free to go there and pick up yourself a granite glow steady and pick up anything else. These hats are pretty nice. So with that, after the break, we're going to bring in Dixon Jowers. We're going to do our 2 versus the field. We'll do our course, talk about the course, and then we'll talk about if this course is really wooded and if Garrett Girthy actually has a chance or not. So with that, I'm going to bring in Dixon Jowers. Okay, you want to move the studio?
I thought you said you're going to take a break first.
I do the break when I transfer this into my audio podcast. Then I put some music there, and it makes it sound like I did a break.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
But right now, everybody's just watching us talk about the transition.
They might have turned away for a second and not noticed how smooth the transition was. We actually thought, rather than moving the camera, I think we actually moved the woods behind us
slightly.
We're in a very large studio called the Earth. So Dixon, 2 versus the field. If I remember correctly, you have not won this bet yet.
That's incorrect.
What did it say?
I won last week.
What is 2 versus the field again?
I picked 2 people, and you take everybody else.
Okay. And you picked Paul and Ricky.
Yes. I pretty much always pick Paul and Ricky.
Whoa.
There's some noise.
Let's accept this.
I think I just got kicked out the studio.
Garrett. I'm going to tell Garrett, please follow the new link in your email.
You're seeing behind the scenes, folks. Isn't it exciting?
That was Garrett trying to call in, and he replied G. Or maybe that's just his symbol.
Yeah, it's his name. But he didn't reply that yet. It's just him. So, all right. So anyway, let's start
that over and pretend that I clipped out that last 10 seconds.
Okay.
2 versus the field. I think that. Explain to me what that is.
I pick any 2 people I want, and you take everybody else.
Okay. And at the Utah Open, I believe you picked Ricky and Paul.
Yes.
And I picked Eagle, McMahon, and everybody else.
Right.
And Eagle did very, very well.
Sure did.
And he got
a consolation prize, just like you last week.
So Ricky and Paul, I got 1st and 3rd.
Uh-huh.
And Eagle got 2nd. So that means Ricky won.
Like you, Eagle was the best of all of the losers.
And if we had not played mini golf earlier in the week, you would have actually gained a dinner.
I've got an update about that for you, by the way.
Wait, did I play one of the holes wrong?
No.
Oh, boy. Oh, hey, G.
There's Double G.
Hey, G, I'm going to put you on mute for a second. Actually, just keep on talking. Perfect.
Okay. You're successly muted.
Garrett, we will be back with you in about 5 minutes. I'm going to finish this conversation with Dixon, and then we'll be right back. So you have an update on the mini golf?
Yes. While Seth and I were just out driving around, there's a Dairy Queen like right on the corner.
Absolutely.
We noticed the Dairy Queen. We thought about getting ice cream and finishing as we drove back in front of you guys. But while we were talking about this, directly across the street from Dairy Queen is a mini golf.
Oh,
and they close at 8 tonight.
Is it putt-putt or is it mini golf?
Well, it's called mini golf on Google Maps because I called them to see what their hours were because we are playing tomorrow.
July 4th.
At some point.
You and I are?
At some point.
Are they open today?
They closed at 8 tonight.
It's not it. Oh, it is
past 8.
Okay.
So we can't play tonight.
I forgot we're on East Coast time.
But we will play.
Okay.
Just there's the update.
See, that's what confused me about before and after 8.
Right.
In fact, the clock says
it's after 8.
It's after 8.
Okay.
So we will update you next week. No, probably in 2 weeks when we talk about who won mini golf again.
Yep.
Who won again.
I'll probably talk about it before that.
I imagine you will. So real quick, we got to talk about the weather. It's pretty darn hot. Do you know if it's going to stay hot?
The weird thing is, like, if you look at the thermometer, it just says it's like 85 or 90, but it's not. It's like sometimes you know the weatherman or the thermometer says it's 30 degrees outside, and you're like, that's not bad. And then it's like a 40-mile-an-hour north wind, and it chills you to the bone. It feels way hotter.
I always thought that 100% humidity meant that it was raining.
Not quite.
Today has proved me wrong.
It even says that it's only like 65% humidity.
That
is a lie from the pit of hell.
I think you have to turn. Right. You have to turn the barometer humidity.
Yeah.
Is that a barometer? What tests humidity?
Not a barometer. Barometer is air pressure.
Okay.
Something.
They're kind of similar. I think a barometer involves humidity.
Possibly.
Air pressure.
What I know is that it's not. It doesn't feel like 90 degrees and 65% humidity.
From what I understand, there's an 80% chance of rain tomorrow, and it's supposed to cool off over the weekend, which is great news because we're all on second and third shirts, and we literally did nothing all day.
Well, I played around.
Okay, I played around and set some stuff up, but other than that, I did nothing all day. Oh, except we determined tee times. We'll do that later too. Now, this course, last week I said I would expect Michael Johansson and James Conrad to have great opportunities here because it's a wooded course up in the Michigan State Park, maybe. After playing the course, it is wooded on the edges, but the fairways are beautiful, wide, clean. You can bomb these shots.
Yep, for sure. Have you ever played Camden 2 in the Quad Cities?
No.
Okay. It's a course that is, I got a chance to play it with Chris Sprague, who is one of the keepers of the course. They do an incredible amount of work there. And the way that I, after playing that course with him, and I would describe this course the same way, it's a course in the woods. It's not a wooded course.
This is 100% that.
Yeah. So it's not.
You could have just described this course that way.
Yeah, that's what makes me think of Camden.
I'm going to cut that like 20 seconds out.
Since nobody can see your hands. It's that kind of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much, the obstacle that you have to beat. On most holes, it's generally only 1 or 2 trees. But it's the angles that are the big deal out here. You can have a fine shot and be at a bad angle to the
Absolutely.
basket. And I learned that on a couple of different holes while I was out here playing blind. So the practice rounds out here are going to be huge. To know, because I would automatically play 3 or 4 holes completely differently than I did.
Right.
So the guys that have put in the practice, and it's not necessarily the locals. I know Tim Barham is the highest rated local to here.
Yep.
But there's only so much you can practice out here. This course has only been in the ground. I was speaking to a different local, and she said it's only in the ground generally for a couple of weeks a year. And so now it's been in the ground for a few weeks now because of AM Nationals. But pretty much, if you have been practicing over the last month, that's your advantage.
Absolutely.
The rest of the year,
right,
there was nothing you could do out here.
Right. And you're 100% right. It's placement golf into these long fairways so you can have a good attack at the pin to try to look at any chance at a birdie. So bearing in mind that this course is a course in the woods and it's not a wooded course, who would, besides, we're doing 2 versus the field. You normally choose Paul and Ricky. Are you just choosing Paul?
Well, yes, I'll choose Paul because Ricky's in Europe. And
as good
as Ricky is, I don't think he can win this from Europe.
So can I give you a second choice?
You can give me a second choice. I don't know if I will accept your second choice.
I would give you Colton Montgomery.
He's a fine guy, but that's not who I would choose for my second pick.
Okay, who would you choose?
I'm debating between either Kale or Double G.
Okay.
For one reason. So Kale, not the biggest thrower on tour, but almost always in the top 5.
Yep.
Almost always.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to pass up. Somebody that you can guarantee is going to be close. The reason, and then Double G has the distance.
Right.
While this course isn't huge, there are a couple of holes where having distance is going to give you a birdie putt that it won't for some other people.
Right.
So that is going to be an advantage. But the reason those two guys, both of them played majestic last week, both of them finished well, but both of them had very bad first rounds. And then good second and third rounds.
Especially Garrett, who we're going to be talking to.
His first round, I'm sure
bit.
he doesn't want us even speaking about it now.
No, we shouldn't mention how bad his first round was.
But so what I think that means is that they both finished well after having a terrible round. So I'm sure they spent all week thinking, Cale lost by 2 and shot 30 points below his rating first round. Garrett was like 50 or 60 points below, and he finished in the top 5. So I think both of them.
Didn't he come back for second?
Cale was second. Double G was third.
Okay.
So both of them, I think, are looking, and they're like, geez, if I could have just had a couple of shots better first round, I would have destroyed this tournament. So they've got some extra motivation. Paul's coming off of, hey, I played Utah a couple of weeks ago. I didn't play anything this last week. I'm feeling good.
So you want Paul and Cale?
Either Cale or Double G. I'm not sure.
I want Double G.
I'll let you know before the round starts.
I would take Double G and everyone else.
I don't know if I'll give that to you just yet. Being that I only get
he is literally waiting in the wings. We can't just.
I have to choose today. I can't
right now.
Wait till
we're live. I mean, otherwise, how are we going to know who you picked?
Oh, that's a good point. All right. Well, I'll go with Double G just to take it away from you.
Wait,
I was trying to choose between Cale and Double G, so I'll go with Double G.
So I tricked you.
I mean, sure.
I tricked you, and now
you tricked me into picking one of the people I wanted to pick.
I now will take.
You're so crafty.
I am not going to take Cale and the rest of the field.
Okay, you're going to take the rest of the field.
I'm going to take
Cale?
James Conrad and the rest of the field.
Oh wow, that's sneaky.
Which will include Cale.
Yes.
All right. So, does anybody have any questions for Dixon before I let him go? Just I can't see the comments.
Yeah, I would say where would this question set up?
So this is just now me. Just I'm gonna.
Oh. Bill from Sheboygan comes in and he wants to ask.
Is it surreptitiously going to get rid of you?
Well, no, I don't think that's the right word. Because doesn't that mean kind of sneakily?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm doing. It's pretty straightforward here. I'm pretty much just saying leave. But I don't know if you can turn the camera here. The burger that just showed up is drawing me more than you're rejecting me.
I'm going to go ahead and do this. Hey, Double G's, can we hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's great to talk with you again.
Good to see you, Steve.
Thank you very much for your patience while I chatted with Dixon and got the lay of the land. I think you might have heard that I wanted to pick you, and he would not allow me to.
I heard you. That guy Dixon, that guy can sure talk a lot.
He does have that skill. So let's see how you do with that skill, Garrett. The first thing that I wanted to talk with you about is you've been gone from the scene for a couple of years. It's really nice having you, your bubbly personality, your great jokes, your amazing smile, and your pretty decent arm all back on tour. Why are you back here? Why did you take a couple of, I was talking about your left arm, but why? Look at the gun. So, how many years did you take off, and why did you come back?
I took a couple years off. I had a son, and things worked out where I can be on the road. We'll make things work from back home, and also the passion of disc golf was really thriving whenever I seen everyone playing online and all the new stuff, the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I went to a couple of the events, and it kind of really got me itching to come back. And I was like, man, I really want to make these cuts, the Jomez and the Disc Golf Pro Tour, all the videos, I'm not leaving anyone out, but I felt like I could be a part of it. And I felt like I was really good at my job back home that I fairly just started at a entry-level job that I was getting really good at. And I figured if I put all my time into disc golf, I think I could be really good, like one of these top pros like I was before. I was young back then. I learned a lot. I experienced a lot. And I pretty much put it all in. And having the Disc Golf Pro Tour finale at Jacksonville whenever I was working at New World Disc Golf Sports Complex. Shout out to those guys. I miss them back home, they supported me and gave me the, route to have my back while I was on the road, and for this year to take off. And we got a camper trailer, and me and Jessica went out on the road, and here we are. Disc golf was something I never really wanted to miss, but there was some times and events that took place that had to get handled, and disc golf wants me back, and I'm back because I want disc golf in my life. So it's good to see all your faces again, and I'm glad that y'all wanted me back. So here I am.
We are definitely very lucky to have you back. Thank you, G's. You said a lot there, so I'm going to try to remember all the different questions I have for you. First of all, how old's your son?
He's a little bit over a year and a half.
And
he'll be October.
He'll be 2 in October?
Yep.
Okay. And then he'll be 3 next October.
Don't confuse me, Steve. Yeah. Yeah. I miss my little boy Brantley. So hopefully I'll get to see him soon whenever I come back into town. It'll be a little bit, but man, I can't wait to see him.
So my niece's name is Sarah Jo, I think.
Okay.
And so your son's name is Brantley. Is that one name or 2?
That's one name. Brantley Allen.
Okay.
First and middle.
What's that?
First and middle name. Brantley Allen.
Brantley Allen.
Yeah.
I think that I'm going to well, no, I'm not going to tell that story. Jenny will be so proud of me for not telling that story. I'm going to have to tell her that I didn't tell a story. Because there's no chance she's watching.
Good.
So you said you played a couple of events and you realized how much fun it was to be back on tour and how much fun people were having, and you missed that. What events were those that you played and thought were really fun?
You're saying this year or last year?
Well, I guess last year when you decided you wanted to come out. What events were those that made you say, I really want to do this?
Well, it wasn't even the ones I participated in, actually. It was the USDGC. I went with the crew from New World, Robbie Newcomer, Charlie Boris, Circle One. Back home in Jacksonville, we made the trip, and they wanted to see what big tournaments were like, so they knew that the Disc Golf Pro Tour finale was coming to Jacksonville to end the tournaments. They wanted to be ready and see what a big tournament looked like, so I went up with the crew, and I got to see the exposure that everyone's getting from the social media, and it's just blowing up. I have probably about 40 new friend requests a day. I'm about to have my 5,000 maximum on Facebook, and then I'm about 20 people a day on Instagram. So it's always nice to spread the sport of disc golf. And unfortunately, we've had some events take place lately where I haven't been able to be on social media, but we're alive, we're kicking. We're here in Michigan getting ready for the Disc Golf Great Lakes Open.
Thank you for the plug. Hopefully I'll remember to say that event is starting on Friday and running through Sunday as well. I think it's really interesting that the events that you went to, you didn't even play in. That's you were a very good soul, Garrett, where you live vicariously through people and say, that is something I want to do. And then you go do it. And it appears as though
I do. And like, whenever I was out there, I got to see a good old buddy of mine, Josh Anthon. That's a nice looking burger. But I got to see Josh Anthon, and it kind of brought back the memories that, whenever I was on tour, that, not just him, but each one of the players kind of took the time and, walked off the fairway to come say hey to me. And, I missed that. So.
Well, you were a great person that a lot of people missed over the last couple of seasons. So it's super easy. I remember when I think I came down to Jacksonville a month or two before the Tour Championship. And it was so much fun sleeping in that big empty building right next to your camper, knowing if anything went wrong, I could always come running over there and see your smile.
You got it. And you'll never miss me because I always kind of wear bright shirts and stuff like that, and I'm back on tour, so you don't have to worry.
I always miss you, Garrett.
That's good. Sorry, I'm getting friend requests as we speak right now. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but
I'm getting kind of choked up because we're having a moment, and now you're having a friend with somebody else. So
I thought you were choking on a pickle on your burger.
I might be choking on my burger. So how old are you, Garrett?
I am 28. I'll be 29 November 9th. So if you want to send a presents, I got a couple addresses. So just hit me up on Facebook. I like beef jerky.
Oh, when is your birthday?
November 9th, if anyone wants to send me any kind of gifts.
Should they wait until November?
No, send them whenever.
Yeah.
Or, I'm just kidding. Hey, but guess what? On the way from Utah to Minnesota, some really bad news actually happened. Some serious a wheel fell off our trailer, kind of like a similar event that took place this year. I held it together. The camper ended up being totaled, and Camping World came through in the clutch in the matter of like 6 days to get our camper fixed and or fixed up. And unfortunately, it's a little bit of a mess right now, but we're in our new home, our 2018 Keystone Passport. It's got a slide out. We finally got hooked up. We got a bigger place, a bigger home for tour. It's a little bit of a mess right now, but I'll give you a little quick tour. Here's the brand new TV. Still got the sticker on it. I want to thank Christian Benwave back home that helped take everything, all his time with his family to get everything situated for us while we're on the road. I know it's not easy dealing with that, and he took care of that while we were on the road. So playing tournaments, he was making all the phone calls, making it happen. So DG4, big shout out to you, Christian, and there'll be more info on DG4 in the future. We're working on that as we speak, but we keep coming across these humps in the road that come first. So we're excited to grow the sport with the youth and through charities, and that shall happen soon. And if you want a shirt, hit me up on Facebook. We got small, medium, large, XL. They're $15. We'll ship them to you. And that all goes to fundraising to help us raise money for other charities.
So it's pretty interesting to me because you have had a difficult week. I've heard about your difficult week through other people, not from you. Yeah. Although you did intimate about it. Intimate? You intimated that you had maybe a little tough week. 6 weeks waiting for your. Did they fix it or do you get a new one?
No, they didn't fix it. They ended up totaling it because the axle went through the floorboard when the tire rolled off our camper trailer.
Okay.
So we were on the side of the road till like 4 o'clock in the morning, but we got it situated. We got to a hotel that night and we were in safe zone. So we were all taken care of, but a big shout out goes to the Camping World band.
So huge. By any chance, did you hear about Don Smith hitting a deer?
I did hear about Don Smith hitting a deer. We actually picked him up for his ride here to Michigan. We heard about his story, so we figured we're not going to leave him behind. So we had a brand new camper. We had enough room to put all his stuff in here. Picked him up, took him to Grand Rapids to where he needed to go. Then we finally made it here at 4 a.m. this morning.
And that's exactly why I asked you that story, because you were in the midst of something that's very difficult emotionally and financially, and you hear about a friend who's having trouble, and you instantly reach out and say, of course, Don, we're going to do what we can to get you wherever you need to go. I'll go ahead and venture to say that if Don was going to St. Louis, you probably would have just taken a little detour.
Of course.
Yeah. So, and that's who Garrett Girthy is, and that's why so many people love you. So just thank you for giving me an opportunity to bring that up. And the other thing, you just got a new camper, and you mentioned New World Disc Golf and the fact that they've done stuff to support you. Can you let us know how does New World help you, and why should everybody be super excited about New World and the Tour Championship?
Well, I hope to get a lot of birdies because they do a little birdie fund for me. when I go to my tournaments, they have birdies for bucks or birdies for burgers for Steve right now. So I have some people that pay various amounts of dollars for each birdie or eagle. They double it. For each round, I make a Jomez production or a Central Coast Disc Golf live disc golf video where they can sit back at their pro shop and their new bar and grill that's connected to the New World Disc Golf Sports Complex. They all sit up there and have a few brews and some lunch or dinner, whatever time that might be playing, and they sit there and hope to bank on paying me some dollars for some birdies or eagles. I tell you what, they do make me go for some of those eagles. I'm not gonna lie. So whenever I got $20 riding on an eagle, yeah, I'm pumping one over the water, baby. You better believe it.
Garrett, I got little goosebumps while you tell that story. Maybe not for the obvious reason. It's great. I can totally picture the entire New World crew down there making burgers and sitting there watching you play. But that's the exact goal of the Pro Tour, is to have people get together, watch, literally rooting for a player and watching it, having a great time together. In this case, rooting for you. Normally, they're they're rooting for James Conrad or somebody else. But anyway,
I'm the James Conrad without the hair. Okay.
You know very well I picked James Conrad to win this event.
I heard you, and that just fuels my fire, Steve.
Okay, so if you guys are coming down to it, and it's you and him, maybe don't take the birdie, give the money back to New World, and let James, walk away with the victory.
How about if I win this week and I'll do a backflip
into the Maple Hill Pond?
No, it has to go down the ski slope.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I get a little momentum, so I get at least the carry on the backflip. Seth
just brought me my second burger, so
Seth's a good man.
Seth is a very good man. They're over there cooking out. It's July 4th. We're having a cookout.
Man, gotta love it here in Michigan. It's beautiful. We're right here at Airbnb, so we can pack up our things and put things away nicely. We're right over here by the water, so we should be able to get to see a nice little firework display.
So, geez, normally, and I'll do it this time, but normally when I have a guest on, I ask them, can you tell me a funny story from the tour? And, you travel all around, you hang out with a lot of characters. Something funny has happened to you that you want to share with us. But this is the first time I've ever done this. Instead, I'm going to share a story about you and me, because I don't know when this was. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago, and we're hanging out at Maple Hill after the Vibram Open, which this year is going to be named MVP Open. And you told me what I still to this day believe is the funniest joke I have ever heard.
I love it.
You know the joke I'm talking about. Now,
I know exactly the joke.
There, you actually sometimes, and I return the favor. We refer to each other as MD sometimes.
Yep.
And that's a good thing. And I think that's enough of a story, so that we're gonna leave it there. But
so everyone else can find out what that story is in person.
So suffice it to say, I have told that joke 2 or 3 dozen times, and I laugh so much because I'm picturing you telling the joke. And I'm not kidding. I love
it, Steve.
I love how you become the characters in the joke. And when the guy spits his chew, you spit your chew. You are those guys. And I try to tell the joke, but I'm an urbanite. I'm a yuppie. It's, life's it's harder for me to pretend to be a rural Garrett girthy human. So anybody who wants
for the record, Steve, it's been 9 months dip free.
Oh, hey, high five.
I quit. Not that I had a drinking problem, but no alcohol, no dip.
fantastic. And I assume you feel healthier and you look healthier.
Healthier. I'm like single G now, but I'm still the double G.
What?
I'm like single G, but I'm still the double G.
You Mike single G?
I'm like
single G.
I'm just confusing you like you do me, Steve.
You are single G, like the basketball guy.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, you dunk like him because you don't drink.
Here we go again.
But seriously, single G is one of my. He's Pacers, right?
Yep.
Pacers. He's a strong forward.
Yep.
Yeah. The point forward.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, but that story, I would still want to hear your funny story. But first, I want to ask you, when you were just out here this morning or this afternoon, and you played 9 holes out at this amazing venue. When you're out here during the tournament, sometimes warming up, I assume fans come up and they say hello to you. They say hello to Jessica. You sign discs. How much fun is that?
Oh, I love it, man. I want people to come to me. I try to make it more comfortable for people to want to meet the pros. Whenever I was young, I got lucky. I was around Climo and Johnny McRae, where I got to be around them and be a little bit more personable, which made me a little bit more outgoing with all the other pros. Which in 2001, I caddied for Cam Todd from the very first hole when he won his world championships.
Absolutely.
So between all of that, I got to see all the hands-on. I was a visual learner. My phone might die in the next few minutes, Steve, just to let you know. It went doo-doo-doo-doo.
Okay.
But I got to see a champion form right in front of my eyes as a 12-year-old. And Cam Todd will coach you that I was one of the number 1 top caddies that you could ever ask for. I wanted to be a player. I wanted to learn without having to ask someone how to play. I watched all and I got to play that tournament last weekend where Cam Todd played in 2001 when he won. And I got 3rd place. I started out the first round in 32nd and fought back up. I shot a course record at a course I played blind. Shot 1,072 rated to bump me up. And I was like, man, what are these ratings for? I got to be in the top 4 with these ratings, man. And, sure enough, the rating things worked out after all. That I bumped right back up there with me and Kale. Mm-hmm. But been having a great time on tour.
So,
before you
go, I want to hear one entertaining story from G's.
Let's see here.
Tell me something funny that has happened with you and Jessica on the road before you traveled, anything at all. And we 2 minutes, so let's go.
Powering off. Sorry, Steve.
That's pretty funny.
It is. Seriously, it's powering off.
And that was Garrett Girthy. Thank you very much, Garrett. We might have you back on to tell us a funny story. We might not. We'll have to see what happens. So with that, the other question that I wanted to ask Garrett, and I'm just too slow, not so good at the interview game. I wanted to ask Garrett, how did he learn to throw so far? Because nothing against Garrett, but it doesn't look like he has the perfect traditional straight across form. It looks like he's just winding up a towel as tight as he can and just uncorking one 700 feet on a hyzer straight. It's ridiculous. So, but maybe we'll ask him that next time. So that's the other question. So rounding out this podcast, at the end of this little exit, we will talk about tour standings. We're going to talk about the power rankings. We'll do some listener questions and any other extra little topics that I've got. So if you want to ask some questions, presuming you're still out there, I don't know why you wouldn't be out watching the fireworks. We've got about a half hour yet before the fireworks. So we'll definitely get to listener questions before that, and then you can get out and watch your fireworks. Anyway, now we will get to Tour standings. So I was actually listening to the Dixon Jowers podcast called On the Box last week, and Dixon Jowers said he said there's no real advantage other than seeding for the top 8 guys because they get a bye into the semifinals. And I gave that some thought, and it did not ring true to me. And the reason it did not ring true is because in the semifinals, as hopefully you know, but if not, you're about to learn, you have to win your card. There's 4 groups in the semifinals. And if you win your card, you advance to the finals plus 1 wild card. So you have a total of 5 guys make the finals. But basically, you need to win your card. Now, seeding is what determines the way those 8 guys get put into it. So, for example, 1st and 8th are joined by 4th and 5th coming from round 2. And 1st and 8th in tour points. And then 2nd and 7th, and then 3rd and 6th, and then 4th and 5th. So if we think about the tour points right now, and the concept of those tour points, as Dixon so eloquently said, not mattering. First in tour points right now, as we all know, is Ricky Wysocki. Second in tour points, it's pulling up right now, kind of slow, is Paul McBeth. Third in tour points, oh, interesting, just 2 points behind him, is Eagle McMahon. First, second, third, Ricky, Paul, Eagle. Fourth in tour points is Garrett Girthy. And then you've got Jeremy Coling, Nate Sexton, Drew Gibson, and James Conrad. All 8 of those guys have an advantage if the Tour Championship happened right now because they get a bye to the semifinals. However, Nate Sexton would have to play Eagle McMahon. Drew Gibson, because he's 6th, he'd play 3rd. Drew Gibson, who's 7th, would have to play Paul McBeth. And James Conrad, who's 8th, would have to play Ricky Wysocki. It feels, just based on the way the season's going, Ricky, Paul, and Eagle are according to power rankings, 1, 2, and 3. It feels like I'd rather be in that 4th or 5th spot where if I'm Garrett Girthy, I just have to play Jeremy Coling. And if I'm Jeremy Coling, I just have to play Garrett Girthy. I don't have to play an Eagle McMahon in semifinals and then play in the finals Paul McBeth and or Ricky Wysocki. Seems like it'd be much better to play those guys once rather than twice. So I personally disagree with Dixon about no real advantage other than seeding. And I think that seeding is going to matter significantly, especially this season. And with Paul committed to playing all of the tour points, all of the Disc Golf Pro Tour events, I think there's a good chance Paul is going to be your guy up on top. Having said that, because he'll get 2 buys. He'll get to drop his 2 worst events. Ricky is missing this event, and I don't know. I think he's coming back for Idlewild, but I'm not 100% sure, which means that he only gets 1 or maybe 0 if he misses Idlewild. Those would be his drops. So that gives Paul a significant advantage. And there you have it. So that's my little, we could call that a rant if we wanted to. The next things I'd like to chat about are the power rankings. For the last few weeks, we've been behind the scenes calculating the power rankings, and I would love to get those as something that we're chatting about again. Oops, what did I just do? I'm going to pull them up right now. It's so funny with these disc golf podcasts. Like I'll listen to them and I hear people like pulling up the websites during the podcast. I'm like, how do you not have those open? But in this case, I don't have them open, so I'm not gonna complain. So, as we all know, last week Alex Russell won the Majestic. Cale Lavis got 2nd. That 2nd place finish actually moved Cale up 6 spots to 19th. In my opinion, Cale after this event will be even higher than 19th. He'll move on up some more. Kevin Jones and Nico Locastro, 1st and 2nd at the St. Louis Open. Each did very well, leapfrogging with Nico actually leapfrogging 2 spots to land in 12th place in the power rankings. Kevin Jones, his percentage improved 0.5%, actually moving him into a tie for 10th with Nate Doss. On the women's side, Katrina Allen's 4th win in a row moved her up 1.1%, tying her for 3rd with Valerie Jenkins in our power rankings this week. Sarah Hokum's win also moved her up, and she's still about 9 percentage points behind Paige Pierce. But the gap closed by 2% this week. So it actually kind of introduced the concept that maybe Paige could be caught by the end of the year. And in a couple of weeks, we will go ahead and publish the power rankings. We want to get some legs under them, and then we'll start publishing them. And then the tour standings now incorporate 1 drop from the Utah Open. And I think not after this event, but after Idlewild, which is the next event, we're going to incorporate the 2nd drop. So players get 2 drops throughout the season, and the top 8 get a bye into the semifinals. The top 16 get a bye into the quarterfinals, and the top 32 qualify for the Tour Championship. One other fun thing, at the Tour Championship, there's a minimum payout of $500. If you show up and throw, you make $500, and then your earnings go up from there. I think the MPO prize is $7,500 and the FPO prize is $2,500. Don't hold me to that. Whatever's published on the website is what it is. But I think that's what it is. They've been given $10,000 to the MPO and FPO winners. And so with that, I'm going to go to the power rankings. I think that we've touched on everything. I'm not going to go to the power rankings. I'm going to go to the listener questions. And I think I have that open. Oh, it's not there. Oh, we got the tea times coming up. Tea times will be right after this. Okay, so get ready. I'm just going to read those off super fast because they've already been done. I know it's July 4th. I know that everybody wants to get to their families and eat more burgers like myself. So, I can just click on this, and I hit no volume. All right, let's see if there's any listener questions. Hala, nice seeing Garrett Girthy in Minnesota. 100% true. Yes, Ben Girthy did in fact know what MD stands for, and I am not going to show that comment because I want people to come up to Garrett and ask him what that stands for, and hopefully he'll tell that joke. And yes, Daniel, that was very good timing on Garrett's phone. I missed the first part. Is Glow going to be live? JT, thank you for asking that question. The Disc Golf Pro Tour, every event is live. We live broadcast every event. And now that we're in the Eastern time zone, I think every event goes live for the women at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then Circle Zero is from 3 to 3:15. And then the men go live at 3:15 Eastern, I think for the rest of the season. The Tour Championship might be a little bit different because of the format. So absolutely, the Discraft Great Lakes Open will be live. Thank you, Aaron. I agree. Can't wait to check out all the action all weekend. And with that, we're going to get ready to sign this thing off. We go live, as I just said, at 2 o'clock on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with same-day shot-by-shot coverage of the women. And then 3 o'clock with Dixon Jowers' Circle Zero show. And then 3:15, the men tee off. And with that, actually, I should touch on the fan vote as part of what we're about to do. And let me see if I can pull that up. There we go. So the fan vote, in third place in the fan vote was Kevin Jones. And so he will be on the Central Coast card at 10 o'clock with Kevin Jones, Jeremy Colling, Austin Turner, and Ben Calloway. In second place in the fan voting was Eric Oakley. So he will be on the Jomez card at noon. Eric Oakley, Michael Johansson, Garrett Girthy, and Reed Frescura. Reed Frescura won the event in 2016, and Ben Calloway won the event in 2015. And then our feature card going off live at 3:15. The winner of the fan vote was, in fact, Johnny McRae. So Johnny McRae will be joined by Paul Macbeth, the Tour Points leader, Tim Barham, and last year's champion, Ziggy Bierkoven. That should be a phenomenal card. And it's interesting because a lot of people say Tim Barham shreds this course. With company like Paul Macbeth and Johnny McRae, he better be ready to shred if he wants to be on that feature card, the lead card in day 2. On the women's side, winning the fan vote was Ragna Bigda Lewis. So she will be going off at 8:30 with Sarah Hokum, Crystal Fromm, who's might be last year's champion. I apologize. I think that's the case. And Courtney Cannon. And so there you have it. And you know what I'm actually going to do? I think rather than read off all of these names, because that would take quite a little while, and I'd rather go watch the fireworks, we're just going to post these on PDGA and UDisc, and you'll be able to check them out. So sometime tonight, maybe right now, I'll check to see if they're live right now. PDGA.com. And I know that Matt at UDisc is also at a July 4th party, so they might not get pushed to UDisc until the morning. Let's see if I can click this button. Let's see if these are live right now. Event schedule. And how about that showing by Ricky overseas last weekend? He won by 11 or so. That was crazy. Every round I think was rated over 1060. It was insane. So the tee times are in fact up. So the 850 card for the men, Owen Heilman, John Kine, Zach Johnson, and Jonathan Propolis. That's your 850 card. You can go to pdga.com and see all the tee times. Thank you all very much. Have a great night. This has been Tour Talk with Steve Dodge, Pro Tour Talk with Steve Dodge. Remember to have fun and light those fireworks safely.